Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Llama Commerce Show. I am your host, Brett Curry. Again, we exist to demystify e-commerce into actionable bites. We have a fantastic guest on the show representing a company that almost everyone listening will know and many of you love. The company is Gander Mountain, one of the big three in the outdoor retail space. Camping, fishing, hunting. If you shop in any of those categories, you've undoubtedly heard of Gander Mountain and probably shopped Gander Mountain. And so we're very privileged and very excited to have on the show today the Senior Director of E-commerce, Mr. Peter Hagemann. And so we're going to talk Gander Mountain, and we're going to talk about Overton's, which is an acquisition of Gander Mountain, and kind of explore what's going on there, because I think it's always fascinating, and this is something that I've always been a believer in, and I tell my employees this and others that I consult with, is you have to learn from the best, right? And so to get kind of this inside scoop and to see what's going on inside Gander Mountain, I think will be a ton of fun. So with that, welcome to the show, Pete Hagemann. How's it going, Pete?
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me to the show.
Yeah, really excited to dig in and kind of uncover what's going on at Gander Mountain. And the more I've learned about you guys, and I will admit that I'm relatively new to Gander Mountain, but
Right.
When I was introduced to Gander Mountain, I was immediately impressed. And then as I've heard more of your story, more impressed. So let's talk about a couple of things. So I think, with any retailer, small startup, solopreneur retailer, all the way up to retailers in the IR 500, everybody's thinking about competition. How do we differentiate? Whether that competition is Amazon or you've got some other major competitors, how do we differentiate? How do we compete?
Sure.
So you're in an extremely hyper-competitive space. How do you guys differentiate against folks like Bass Pro and Cabela's and then other indirect competitors?
Sure. And that is challenging. One of the ways we do try to differentiate ourselves is to sort of focus on creating that one integrated customer experience between our online and physical locations. We have more stores than either of our main competitors, and we want to take advantage of that benefit. We focus on making sure that the customer experience is seamless between all shopping channels. So for instance, example would be is our customers can place an order online, and that order can be placed against the store's inventory, and then they can pick up that product within 30 minutes of them placing that order. We do emails to them to confirm that we have the product. If stores do not have inventory, we'll ship product to the stores for free. But I know a lot of major retailers do this, but in our space, we're the only ones who do it. And it really creates the building blocks for us to continue to enhance that integrated shopping experience between all channels.
Yeah, I love that. And we talk about on the show a lot that people want to shop the way they want to shop, right? Some people want to go into the store and browse around, and that's the experience to them. Other people want to just order online and have it shipped to them. Other people want to order and then go get it, and they want to just make, they're all about efficiency. And so have you seen some gains, or how do you think that has worked in your favor by offering online ordering, in-store pickup? Have a lot of people taken advantage of that?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We have a tremendous amount of our percent of sales through that. And one of the things, we have only one distribution center, and that's based out on the East Coast when we purchased the Overton's brand. So having those other, I'd say, fulfillment areas like our stores, I think that is a huge benefit for our customers. And they don't have to wait, obviously, for picking up or getting their product. We usually offer a lot of times free shipping on our product, and sometimes we'll bounce back to free shipping on minimum orders of $50. But that way, though, if you can pick it up in the stores, there is no shipping charges. Like I said, we'll ship to the store for free. The other thing we also do, and I didn't bring this up earlier, is if the customer's in the store and they don't have the product in the store, the associates can order the product for the customer online in the store to either be shipped back to the customer's home or to the store for them to pick it up.
Nice. And is that something, how do you guys promote that or allow customers to know that, hey, don't see what you're looking for? Order while you're in store. Talk to an associate.
Yeah, so we do have some signage in the stores, depending on the category. Some of the categories we really have expansion, especially on the apparel and footwear side, where we have many more styles available online than in the stores. So that is an area we have a lot of signage. There is other signage throughout the stores. And then about the ability to buy product and pick it up in the store, we actually have information right on the product detail page and during checkout. So all the way through that customer experience online, they have that opportunity to view the inventory that's in the store and to be able to just or make the decision to buy it and pick it up in the store.
Gotcha. And just for those that don't know, so you have 161 stores. Is that correct?
That is correct. Right around
there. Spread out all over the country.
Yes. Well, they're basically from the Mississippi going to the east. We do have a couple stores in Colorado.
Okay. Gotcha. I was actually planning on asking this later, but we've kind of gotten into the physical store space, and so I would like to talk about combining physical store with e-commerce a little bit more. I read an interesting quote from the CEO of JCPenney. I don't know if you saw this.
Okay.
But they've had a tough go of it here for a while,
right?
And maybe making some improvements. It seems, not really sure. But when asked, when they were doing I think it was their fourth quarter earnings report, when asked why they weren't going to close some stores, because that was kind of the expected thing,
sure,
the CEO said, "We're doing it for e-commerce. So if we close these physical stores, it will have an impact in our e-commerce business." Just curious,
sure.
Do you guys notice that where you're using the physical stores to drive e-commerce, and maybe also e-commerce to drive physical store sales? Any insights there?
Sure. That's definitely true both ways, like you just said. I talked about sort of how we integrate shopping. The other thing is on the marketing side, we're making some big changes. Previously, we ran an online marketing team and a sort of a store or retail marketing team, and they were completely different. What we are doing now is combining those resources because we are viewing that customer as one channel for the whole brand. And we are seeing big impacts where we do some online marketing around that store clusters that we have, that it drives both online and in store. And the same thing with when we do store advertising, it's driving people online. So I think, what he says, I think is true to some extent. And we definitely are seeing a lot of our sales penetration or market share around those store demographics or areas that we, have our brick and mortar areas.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it is interesting to look at that. So you guys are combining your marketing team, and I think it's very common for there to be this digital marketing team, this in-store local brick and mortar marketing team, and you guys are integrating that. And I think that's fascinating. I think there are some wins that can be created there. So you guys are talking about lining up in-store promotion with our digital campaigns and all of that.
Correct. And it's all the marketing, even from email, we push a lot of the stuff on emails, trying to push people into the stores. We just started with a new ad agency, and that agency, the whole view is that strategy of both online and stores together. So it's all the way up to our agency level that we're trying to push this.
Interesting. I think that lines up with a lot of what's going on in e-commerce, where you're combining the experiences. And it's not just one channel, but truly being good at omni-channel,
right?
Which is fascinating. So one thing I thought was really interesting. You guys were kind of late to the e-commerce game. So if you look at Cabela's, you look at Bass Pro, you guys were late to get online, and you've since made huge strides. You guys are dominating in some category. Guns is one. You guys are in the hunting space a lot, and so you guys sell just a ton of guns and rank well organically in search for guns. But how did you close the gap? You got off to a late start. How did you close the gap, and how have you done so well with your e-commerce?
Sure, and you are correct. We were very late to the game, and at that time we tried to look at ourselves and ask, since we are starting from scratch, what can we do differently? So we sort of saw that as an advantage because some of our competitors have been in the game and doing things the same way. We saw an opportunity that none of our competitors have done before, and that was selling guns online. We are the only retailer in our space to sell both new and used guns online. So a customer can select their gun, choose one of the hundreds of FFL dealers that we have online, including all the Gander stores, and have those guns shipped to the dealer. At the FFL dealer, what they can do is the customer will fill out all the required legal documentation before they pick up their gun. This gives us the ability to sell guns throughout the whole country, because right now, like I said before, we're mostly focused on the eastern side of the country. Being able to ship the guns throughout the full country has given us a huge advantage. The process has been very complex. We had to certify all these FFL dealers, incorporate all the local government restrictions may apply. We had to create the logistics network to do this. And of course, developing a website to support a very seamless buying experience for the customer. Right now, I think we have over 5,000 new and used guns online. So I think us starting from scratch, that gave us the ability to look at things bigger than maybe our competitors and say, what can we do different? And then the other thing, Brett, I think that helps us was, because we are a smaller organization on the direct-to-consumer, I think we're able to make decisions maybe a little bit quicker and implement some of those things a little quicker than maybe a larger organization. And the reason I think that's true is because we continue to see positive comps, quarter over the previous years. Well, maybe some of our competitors have maybe, stalled in their growth or even have maybe some declines. So those are probably two of the, I guess, examples of, us coming in late and how we're able probably to compete.
Yeah, and I love that, and I think you can see that kind of approach working in other areas as well. So if you look at social media, you had MySpace that dominated, and Facebook was able to kind of come in late, but see what MySpace wasn't doing, and capitalize on that and create this better experience. And so you guys were able to look at the marketplace and say, here's we're camping, hunting, fishing, guns. That's what hunters need. They're being underserved. This is an opportunity. Let's go after it. And you guys have done that.
And I think, Brett, like you said, we're in a very competitive area. Hunting, you can get besides our main competitors, you can get that stuff at Walmart. You can get that stuff on Amazon. Same thing for fishing and camping. So we knew although we try to compete as much as possible in those categories, we were really trying to focus, what could we do something different? And I think we were able to hit a home run relating to the guns. Yeah,
that's fascinating. So in 2007, Gander Mountain acquired Overtons.com out of North Carolina. And so talk about that, if you would, a little bit, the strategy behind that and what that has allowed you to do, and maybe just a quick note about what is Overtons.
Sure. Overtons is a company that's been around for 40 years. They focus on marine and water sports. They've been focused on a direct-to-consumer business. Over the years, they have had maybe a half dozen stores. Right now, it's down to 2. But back in 2007, when I was brought on board, that's when we were able to start doing the direct-to-marketing business. And one of the things we decided to do is go out and acquire somebody that was sort of a best-in-class in the direct-to-consumer business. So we ended up acquiring Overtons. They have best-in-class call center, a distribution center. They had the expertise in marketing to the direct-to-consumer market. We bought Overtons in the November-December timeframe, and using all those experience and assets, we were able to get a Gander website running and the catalog created in approximately 9 months. So that was something we were able to do very quickly by acquiring somebody, then doing all that stuff internally. We are very proud of how quickly we were able to accomplish this. But I think that's probably a main reason we bought Overtons. But the second reason is Overtons is a great brand by itself. Like I said, this year they're celebrating their 40th anniversary of being in business. It is a great brand and a leader in the marine and water sports business. And we just have great confidence and think it's a huge opportunity to continue to grow the Overtons brand. So both of those reasons, we needed both of those reasons to exist to purchase them. And so far it's been a great decision to acquire them.
Yeah, it's such a natural fit, camping, fishing, hunting, water sports, totally connected. A lot of times you're doing all three at the same time.
And we really talk about the customer as being outdoor enthusiast. And I think, just like you said, that we have that outdoor enthusiast for both the Overtons customer and the Gander Mountain customer.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, I know everybody's talking mobile, and mobile
Yeah,
commerce is exploding, of course, and so you have to be thinking mobile. And I know for bigger companies as well, and it's awesome to hear you guys say that you pride yourselves in being nimble, even though you're a pretty large retailer, still nimble and able to make changes. What are you guys thinking about right now in terms of mobile? What are you observing in
sure.
mobile, and what are some of your plans in mobile? And I know you can't give away the secret sauce, but some
Uh,
thoughts.
well, I agree with you. I mean, like everyone else, we are seeing such a rapid growth of our visitors moving to the mobile site. And it's probably happening, probably faster than we expected. We knew this was coming, but it is basically every week it's just changing dramatically. So we're really taking this transition to mobile seriously. We're looking at everything from the design, the user experience on the mobile, to actually how to invest in additional marketing focused on that mobile customer. We have been fortunate to be able to continue to grow our desktop business along with the mobile business. I know that's not always the case with such a big movement. So we are focusing on it. It is a priority. A lot of the things that we're doing, right now I can't share, but we can maybe share that in the future.
Yeah, I'm
But it
excited.
is unbelievable the change in that customer behavior moving to that mobile device, and it's pretty remarkable.
And have you guys noticed a big shift even in the last 12 months or so? I mean, obviously
Yeah.
everybody's been talking about mobile for a long time, but it seems like the last 12 months been a kind of a major shift.
Yeah, I would say the last 12 months, and it probably started in the Christmas of 2014, where we really saw the jump to people shopping on the mobile site. And then throughout the year it continues to grow rapidly. And again, this last Christmas, it's crazy to show or to see the results of people shopping on their mobile devices.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and you don't have to share specific numbers, of course, and you may not know without looking, but have you guys seen any, we talk about the gap in conversions on a mobile device versus desktop. Usually that
Yep.
percentage is quite a bit lower on mobile than it is on desktop. Are you guys seeing that gap close any on your end, or is that kind of staying about where it's always been?
No, we are seeing that gap close. So you're right. So, we have our desktop at this level and a mobile at this level. And what we're seeing is desktop conversion increasing slightly, but the increase of conversion is, dramatically increasing over time. And I think it's just because we're, focusing on it so much to make that user experience so as simple as possible. And the challenges with the smaller screen size, and as we talked about guns earlier, how do we, guns is a large portion of our, significant portion of our sales. How do we able to get a gun buyer to actually purchase a firearm, through the mobile device? But a lot of people who are shopping for guns, the first time buyer, they're doing a lot of research on our side, and then it's try to get them into the stores to touch the gun, making sure they're getting the right, firearm for their needs. And the more experienced firearm buyer, probably is able to knows what they want and be able to navigate and move through it a little quicker. But yeah, and the same thing with AOV too is trying to increase that AOV. Use our
Yep.
AOV on mobile, I'll tell you, is less than on the desktop. We have been making strides to increase that AOV by doing a few different things, but that's the same challenge too. So as that visitors continue to spike and having that lower conversion rate, that is a challenge for our strategy to continue to grow sales when our desktop isn't growing as fast. So it will be continued something we, as a priority throughout 2016, and I'm sure, into the future.
Absolutely.
Growth.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk a little bit about marketing channels. I'm a huge marketing fan.
Yeah.
That's the area of business I'm most passionate about, and we talk about a lot on the show. But what are some of the important marketing channels we talked about already that you're combining offline and digital, and same agency, same team internally
Yeah.
working on both and coordinating on both. But what are some of the channels that are really important to you, and what are some of the things you're doing there that are working and working
Sure.
well?
Sure. Well, we have various strategies that we deploy, and it depends out throughout the year and what we want to accomplish. So I would say during some time of the years, we put an emphasis on customer acquisition. where maybe we'll focus on, SEM or lookalike ads or things like that. But other times of the years, our strategy will be more on the emphasis of driving repeat purchases, and we invest more heavily on maybe, let's say, retargeting ads or emails, let's say. I guess overall, as our business continue to grow, we have been able, fortunately, to continue to grow our marketing investment in all channels. So it's really trying to figure out that strategy of what's working for what we want to accomplish at that time. One of the areas I think you'll see us focus, well, you will see us focus on more, is on social media. We've been in the social media area, but we probably haven't done as great of a job to be able to get a better investment in social media. So that would be, let's say I had to pick one area that would change more dramatically for Gander and for Overton's, would be in the social media area.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's been fun for me to observe over the last 3 years or so the shift in mindset for merchants, online merchants, about social media. Really, a few years ago, that there was a pretty strong undercurrent that said, "Nah, social media, maybe we need to do there, maybe we need to be there a little bit, maybe not. It's not going to drive sales."
Right.
And now I think most people are saying, "No, this is really critical." It may not be quite as easy to connect the dots as it is, say, with Google Shopping or with search marketing ads, where we can see click, immediate purchase. There's more of a funnel, more of a process when someone sees a social ad or a social posting to actually purchase. But what are some of your thoughts on things you're going to do differently or more of when it comes to social media?
Well, I think it's, because we've lacked it so much, there is so much opportunity. Our focus really is try to be as personalized to our customers as possible. So I think even in the social media area, you're going to try to see us be more related one-on-one with that customer. And when I say personalization, I know you talked about social media, but we're really focusing on everything relating to the shopping experience with the customer. So even online, we want to give that customer a more personalized experience. When we talk about email marketing, we want that a more personalized relationship with that customer with emails, and the same thing with social media. So I think when we talk about grouping customers to being alike in certain areas, or understanding their purchase behavior and taking that purchase behavior to help how we market to them and how we offer up the shopping experience online or through the mobile site, is I think a big part of it, and that focuses on social media too and how we approach that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense, and I'm really glad you brought that up. I think that's often one of the biggest pieces that e-commerce merchants are missing, and that if they were to implement, would give them the greatest return, and that's personalization, segmentation, personalization, getting messages that are specific to individuals. So can you talk about that in a little more detail? Like, what are you doing specifically with email marketing in regards to personalization, and then maybe what are you doing on the site in terms of personalization? We'd love to hear a couple examples there. I think that'd be insightful.
Sure. Well, segmentation, like you were just saying, is very important for us. And I would say we've been doing segmentation, but there is so much more opportunity we have. And some of the basic stuff we have is, we have what we call an ammo club. Our customers are passionate about ammo, and we like to give them a notice of when products are going to be showing up in the stores. We like to give them heads up when there's going to be some promotions. So every Monday we have our ammo club, and we'll dedicate our emails on Monday to the ammo club. We do segment our emails based on the buying behavior of customers, relating to if I'm a hunting enthusiast, fishing enthusiast. And I know a lot of other retailers do that. But for us, I think it's just even more important because we have although we talk about that outdoor enthusiast, we do have a different type of customers, because we have, that person who is passionate about fishing. We have that person who's passionate about hunting. Our customers, which is so great about our customers, they're passionate about our product and what they use that product for. So our challenge is how to personalize that experience with them, because they're passionate about what they're looking at. And I think it's a lot of system enhancements we need to do. Data analysis. We're starting to capture much more data about our customers and their customer browsing behavior, their purchasing behavior, and try to analyze that and saying, what do we need, how we can take this data and incorporate to that personal experience. my goal someday is when you come to our site, the full experience that you have from the time you enter into the homepage through checkout, it's personalized based on the behaviors that you have done in the past. We are not near that, but we are definitely moving towards that path.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's huge. And on the email side and talking about your customers and your category, I mean, people that are into fishing or hunting or camping or boating, some of them can be kind of nuts about it. It's like golf enthusiasts. It's what they
Sure.
think about all day long, what they dream about, and so you almost can't over communicate, right? When you're talking about
Right.
products like that, which works in your favor. I think the club, this is the ammo club.
Yeah.
That's a good fit. Like people they associate themselves with that. I'm an ammo guy, or I'm a fisherman, and that's how I identify myself. So that's really interesting. And so do you guys track like frequency of messages a lot and try to optimize that, and any insights in how much to email, how much not to email?
I would say we do that, but we have a long way to go. That is definitely an opportunity for us. I'm hoping to make a lot of progress on that this year, but it's very limited right now. We do a lot of the basic analysis of our emails like everybody else, but we need to do a step further to really dive into that data a little bit more and really be more efficient with the outcomes of that data based on, just like what you said. So
Yeah.
much more opportunity for us in that area.
Yeah, that's great. It's good to identify that. In terms of on-site, are there any tools you're using, anything you're excited about, if you can talk about it, to try to add personalization to that shopping experience?
Yeah, we use Omniture analytics for a lot of our data. We have a company we use for all of our customer analytics. We have a partner we use that's given us the opportunity to try to personalize that from IT and let's say from a web browsing through search. Be able to understand who that customer is when they come in and be able to display the appropriate assets for that potential customer. So we have a few partners and it's trying to really pull that information together and that all of them can use it and make that informed decisions. So we have identified strategic partners that are going to help us in that whole personalization. And the good thing about it is technology is changing very rapidly out there into this area. There is a lot of people are getting in the space, and I think it's going to be fascinating of who wins from these technology companies that are going to be, because there's so many people out there to do it. There's only probably going to be a few winners at the end of the day, and I think it's just a fascinating area for the people who are focused on personalization and who's going to be that winner that will take over the market for that piece of the business.
Yeah, and I love that you guys are working on it now. I think it's going to be huge, and I can tell you've got the right mindset and the right approach to really do it the right way. And so I'm excited about that. So what I'd like to do, and then we're out of time. It's gone by so quickly.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I know. But just to kind of recap what we covered, some really good stuff. Just again, we try to drill down into some actionable bites, but things for you to be thinking about as you guys work on your marketing plan and growth plan. I love how Pete and the Gander team looked at strategy, and they looked at, okay, we're Bass Pro, Cabela's, a few other competitors. These are who we're going after. What's something they're not doing that is just wide open and open for us? And then they chose that, and that was guns. And then also looking at personalization. How do we make this seamless from in-store, online, mobile, personalized, and segmented, and the message directed at the consumer? So really exciting stuff, good stuff. Pete, anything coming up either for the outdoor enthusiasts that may be on listening to the show? Anything coming up that you're excited about, or anything we need to be watching for? And then if not, how can folks connect with and pay attention to Gander Mountain and Overton's?
Sure. I'd like to say there's a lot of things to be excited for. And I'm not going to address it for the outdoor enthusiasts. I think it's just for the consumer in general. I think we're at such a change I've been in retail my whole career, and it's changing when how we ended up about personalization. And I think that customer is going to start getting a completely different customer experience when shopping in the future than they have in the past. And I think that's exciting for the consumer out there. But then at the same time, when you talk about, to the retailers out there, how do we provide that experience for the customer? I think it's just fascinating. I think it's the biggest change that is happening in retail for a long time. And I think it's going to change the way that commerce happens. And so I'm very excited to see what the future brings relating to that area.
Yeah, I am too, and I hear a lot of people talking about it, and I love the idea. I mean, I love the idea of, as a consumer, going to a website and knowing that it was adjusted and kind of tailor-made for me, which is great. I know from the perspective of a consumer and also the merchant, you also don't want to get so focused and so narrow in that personalization. Like, hey, we know this person likes camping, so we're only going to show them camping thing. I think there's got to be a smart way to do that, so there's still merchandising and still cross-promoting and still, hey, I may be a camper, but I'm buying something from who fishes or whatever. So I think there's some nuance there. It is fascinating. I can't wait to see, who emerges as a merchant that does really well with personalization.
Right. So, Brett, I'd love to have people visit us online at, www.gandermountain.com, or it's overtons.com. We'd love to have you guys come visit our site, and, hopefully you'll have a great experience.
Yeah, and one of the things I recommend, and I do this all the time, go to those sites, pay attention to how they're handling the homepage and merchandising products, sign up for the newsletter, and just see how they market to you. I think that there's a lot of lessons to be learned. So that's fantastic. Well, Peter, this has been a ton of fun. I love what you guys are doing. Love the business model. Keep up the good work, and we'll have to have you back on the show sometime. I know you guys got some big stuff coming up. Maybe we can make some Llama Commerce Show announcements on some of those new initiatives here later, which I think would be fun. So, Pete, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you. And everyone else, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Let us know what you'd like to see more of, less of, any show ideas, any thoughts that you might have. We value your feedback. Also, leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us out, helps spread the word, helps get more listeners coming in who want to know about the latest and greatest in e-commerce. And so with that, until next time, stay classy.